In 2021, a post started circulating on 4chan and Wizard.chan claiming that the internet had already died. Not metaphorically. Literally. The theory said that sometime around 2016 or 2017, the majority of activity on the internet stopped being generated by real humans and started being generated by bots, AI systems, and automated accounts designed to simulate human behavior. The comments you were reading were fake. The accounts you were following were fake. The engagement numbers were fake. The sense that you were participating in a live, human conversation with millions of other real people was fake. It was called the dead internet theory. And the people who took it seriously were mostly dismissed as paranoid conspiracy theorists who had spent too much time in dark corners of the internet. This week, Fortune magazine published a story with a headline that said, "Turns out dead internet theory was right." Cloudflare, the internet security company that processes traffic for millions of websites globally, announced that bots crossed the 50% threshold in June 2026. More than half of all web page requests are now generated by non-human sources. The crossover happened last month. The conspiracy theory was not only correct, it was conservative. And the business fallout from this is something that almost nobody in the advertising, analytics, or creator economy is prepared for. And before we get into it, I want to say something personal because it actually connects to this perfectly. One of my jobs is answering phones. And I get probably 90% spam calls. Constantly. All day. I'm blocking numbers on rotation, and you would genuinely think we were the busiest place in the world based on how many calls come in. But it's robots. Not even human solicitors anymore. Just automated systems calling a number, generating a ring, logging it somewhere, moving on to the next one. I am personally living inside a small, very annoying version of the dead internet theory every single shift. And when I tell you the same thing is happening on the internet at a scale of billions of interactions per day, I need you to understand that it's not abstract. The bots are calling the phones too. Let's go back to where this started. The dead internet theory as a coherent idea first appeared in a post by a user named Illuminati Pirate in January 2021. The original post argued that large corporations and government entities had, beginning around 2016, worked in coordination to flood the internet with artificial engagement to manipulate public perception, suppress organic human conversation, and manufacture fake consensus around ideas, products, and political positions. The more conspiratorial parts of that original theory, the government coordination angle, the deliberate suppression of human voices, those were almost certainly wrong. But the core empirical claim, that bots and automated systems were generating an increasing majority of internet activity, was not wrong at all. It just took a few years for the data to catch up with the theory. Imperva, one of the major internet security firms, has been publishing what they call the Bad Bot Report annually since 2013. In their 2025 report, they put automated traffic at 51% of all internet activity for the first time. Thales, a French security company, dates the crossover even earlier, to 2023, and puts bad bot traffic at 53% in 2026. Cloudflare's numbers, published this week, show bots generating 57.5% of all web page requests as of June 2026. The specific numbers vary depending on who is measuring and how they define a bot versus a human, but the direction of travel across every major security firm's data is identical. More than half of the internet is not human. And it is getting less human every month. Now here is where the story gets genuinely insane. Because what drove the crossover is not the old kind of bot. The bots that inflated follower counts and ran click fraud and farmed engagement on Facebook, those have existed for years. What changed in 2025 and 2026 is the arrival of AI agents at scale. An AI agent is not a simple bot running a script. It is an autonomous AI system that can browse the web, read content, make decisions, take actions, fill out forms, click buttons, make purchases, send messages, and complete tasks that until recently required a human being to do them. Stripe reported that 70% of its API commands are now coming from agents rather than humans. Companies like Visa, Ramp, Mercury, DoorDash, and Coinbase have all launched what are called agent-native interfaces, command line tools specifically designed for AI agents to use rather than humans. The infrastructure of the internet is actively being rebuilt to serve automated systems as the primary user. Not as a side case. As the main customer. And that is a catastrophic problem for almost every business model the internet has been built on for the last 20 years. Here is why. The entire digital advertising industry, which is a roughly $700 billion global market, is built on the assumption that when an ad gets served to a web page, a human being sees it. The entire influencer economy, the brand deals, the sponsored content, the product placements, is built on the assumption that follower counts and engagement metrics represent real human beings who might actually buy something. The entire analytics industry, the tools that tell companies how many people visited their website, how long they stayed, which pages they read, is built on the assumption that the traffic being measured is human traffic. All three of those assumptions are now questionable in a way they have never been before. And the companies most exposed to this are not the big platforms. The big platforms know the numbers are inflated and have priced that into how they sell advertising. The most exposed are the small and mid-sized businesses spending their entire digital marketing budgets on campaigns whose performance metrics they have no ability to verify. A regional clothing brand spending $50,000 a month on Instagram ads cannot audit Cloudflare's traffic data. They just see the impressions and the click-through rate and assume the numbers mean something about human eyeballs. A lot of those numbers no longer mean that. If bots and agents are generating 57% of web page requests, a significant portion of ad impressions are being served to automated systems that will never buy anything and have no opinion of any brand. If AI agents are browsing the internet at scale, they are inflating website traffic numbers that companies use to make decisions about where to advertise, what content to produce, and how well their business is performing. And nobody has a clean way to separate the human signal from the noise yet. The advertising verification companies, the ones that sell brand safety and fraud detection as a product, are trying. But the detection tools were built to identify the old generation of bots, the simple scrapers and click farmers. An AI agent that reads a page, navigates like a human, moves a mouse cursor naturally, and behaves in ways that are designed to be indistinguishable from human browsing is a fundamentally harder problem to solve. Some estimates suggest that as much as 40 to 50 cents of every dollar spent on digital advertising may already be going to waste on non-human traffic. At the scale of global digital ad spend, that is hundreds of billions of dollars a year being spent on an audience that does not exist. Now here is the part of the story that takes it from a tech problem to a cultural one. Because the dead internet theory was not just about bot traffic and ad fraud. It was about what it feels like to be a human being online when the majority of what you encounter is not made by or for other human beings. Think about what you actually do when you go on the internet now. You open social media and your feed is full of content. Some of it is from people you follow. A lot of it is recommended content from accounts you have never heard of. A growing percentage of that recommended content was generated by AI, posted by accounts that may or may not be run by humans, designed by algorithms optimizing for engagement signals that may themselves be inflated by bot activity. You go to the comment section of a post. Some of those comments are from real people. Some are from automated accounts farming replies. Some are from AI systems deployed by brands or political organizations or foreign governments to shape the conversation. You cannot tell which is which because the AI-generated ones are now good enough that distinguishing them from human-written ones requires effort most people are not going to put in on a random Tuesday afternoon. You search for something on Google. The results used to be pages written by humans for humans. A study from 2026 found that over half of newly published web content is now AI-generated. The search results you are reading through to find information about the world are increasingly written by automated systems that scraped and synthesized other automated content. Google's own traffic data tells a version of this story. A 2026 report from Press Gazette found that global publisher traffic from Google Search dropped by a third in 2025 because Google's AI overviews are now answering questions directly, meaning real human users are getting answers from an AI summary and never clicking through to any human-written page. So the humans are getting their information from AI summaries of content that is increasingly written by AI. And the pages that the humans are not visiting are being crawled constantly by AI agents gathering training data. The human is almost incidental to the loop at this point. There is a concept in machine learning called model collapse. It happens when an AI model gets trained on data that was itself generated by AI models. The outputs get progressively worse and more distorted over generations because the synthetic data amplifies errors and biases instead of introducing the variety and grounding that comes from real human experience. Researchers published a paper in Nature in 2024 demonstrating this effect. The concern is that as AI-generated content becomes a majority of what exists on the internet, the next generation of AI models training on that data will be training on a progressively more distorted reflection of reality. An internet that is mostly synthetic content, training AI systems that generate more synthetic content, being fed back into an internet that is mostly synthetic content. The loop closes on itself and the output gets stranger and less accurate over time. That is the long-term version of what the dead internet theory was warning about. Not that the internet would be taken over by government bots in some sinister conspiracy, but that the organic, chaotic, human-generated internet that actually existed in the late 90s and 2000s would gradually be displaced by automated systems optimizing for engagement metrics, until the ratio of human signal to machine noise flipped past the point where the human signal was the majority. That point was June 2026. Cloudflare said so this week. Now here is the business implication that nobody wants to say out loud, but that is sitting underneath all of this. The creator economy, the influencer marketing industry, the entire premise that a person with a large following on a social platform represents access to a real human audience, is built on metrics that are now fundamentally compromised. A follower count is not a human count. An engagement rate is not a human engagement rate. A view count is not a human view count. Not because the platforms are running the fraud themselves, but because the systems that generate and inflate these numbers are now sophisticated enough and numerous enough that the signal has been corrupted at the source. Brands are paying influencers based on follower counts and engagement rates that may increasingly reflect automated activity rather than real human interest. The advertiser thinks they are reaching 1 million people. They may be reaching 400,000 people and 600,000 agents who will never buy anything. There is also a strange and somewhat darkly funny subplot in all of this, which is Moltbook. Moltbook is a social network that launched in January 2026. It was built by Matt Schlicht, the founder of Octane AI. The entire premise of Moltbook is that it is a social network exclusively for AI agents. No humans are allowed to post. Every account is a verified AI agent. Every post, every comment, every upvote, every piece of community interaction on the platform comes from an automated system. As of February 2026, it had over 1.6 million registered agents. The agents on Moltbook are not pretending to be human. They are openly AI, interacting with each other, building communities, having what you might loosely call conversations, in a space designed specifically for them. The joke version of this is, we built the internet for humans and the bots are inheriting it while we stand around arguing in the comment sections of their platforms. The more serious version is that Moltbook is a proof of concept for what a large portion of the existing internet has already quietly become. Spaces that look like human communities from the outside but are increasingly populated and animated by automated systems that are optimizing for something other than genuine human connection. The dead internet theory got a lot of things wrong about the mechanism. The government coordination conspiracy it described almost certainly did not happen. But it got the outcome exactly right. The person who posted it in 2021 said the internet had already died and people were just living inside a simulation of what it used to be. 4 years later, Cloudflare is publishing the receipts. The bots crossed 50% in June. The theory is no longer a theory. Rise and ruin. Every time.